Okay, let's do yoga. We're going to continue with some standing postures to keep refreshing the body and improving our circulation and breath. Let us start into Garudasana so that we can ground our feet, find our foundation and tune in with our flow of breath. You might like to close the eyes to begin with so that you can take an inward view and you can connect with your internal self and experience the breath flowing into your body and flowing out. Ensure that you have that upward elevation going on, both internally and externally, so you're lifting the skin on your legs from the soles of your feet upwards. You've got that continuum started whereby all parts above the lower legs just want to go in the same direction now. So it's all elevating, rising up, pull up internally, scan the body for any pockets of flesh that may be being lazy and engage with them, get them to lift. When you next exhale, just roll those shoulders back, bringing the shoulder blades towards each other and opening out across the front of the chest. Have your chin parallel with the floor. Unclench your teeth. And just notice if your head and shoulders are resting centrally over your hips and your head, shoulders and hips are resting centred over your ankles and feet. Connect with your abdominal muscles, pull them in, contract them, get the belly button, draw it in, back and down to support the lower spine, to strengthen it. Good. And then we'll open the eyes. Breathe in, bring the palms together at the chest. Breathe out. Jump step or walk the feet about 3.5 feet apart. We're going to move into Paschimottanasana, which is a sideways extension. You're going to feel a complete and total stretch through the legs, especially the Achilles tendon, the calf muscles, the hamstrings. Be aware to allow this to progress nice and slowly. You don't want to push the body too far too soon. And we're going to bring their hands into play for this one. Now there are two ways, well there's a couple of ways that you can have your hands placed. If you're a beginner, you might like to just allow those arms to come behind your body, bend at the elbows and connect the opposite hand with elbow. Okay. If you have further flexion and increased suppleness already, you can roll the shoulders from the shoulder girdle and turn the palms of the hands so they face the ceiling. You can then draw the fingertips towards each other and very slowly invert those hands so that the palms close in. And this is prayer position. Bring your elbows back. Take your shoulder blades towards each other so you open across the front of the chest. Where this will release more space for your heels of hands, palms of hands to come together. But if this feels uncomfortable for you, take this posture, take this position. Opposite hands connecting with the elbows. Nice deep breath in. We're going to turn the feet to the left. You're going to turn the left foot out 90 degrees. You're going to turn the right foot in 45 degrees. You're going to bring your right hip and shoulder forward to align it centrally with your left hip and shoulder so that the trunk of your body is equally placed over that front leg, the left leg to begin with. You're going to take a nice deep inhalation and you're going to raise the chin slightly. You're going to dome the chest. You're going to lift the heart up towards the ceiling. You're going to support the spine with the belly button and the abdominal muscles as you begin to hinge the hips forward. And then you want to look at creating a nice straightness through the spine. So once again, there's a pulling of the tummy in. You've got a little tilt of the pelvis taken place. You're moving slowly so that you are able to constantly observe your alignment as you descend. Once you get to about halfway, you want to look directly down at the mat so that this keeps the head and neck a nice natural extension to the spine. You want to check your shoulders. Are they level, or have you got one shoulder raised above the other? If so, utilise the back leg and the heel of the back foot to place it in a position whereby you are able to align your shoulders. You want your hips level. Unclench your teeth. Breathe in through the nose. Be aware of your lungs inflating. Draw those elbows out and up so that the hands can come together once again if you are in prayer position. And as you slowly extend forward, keep the breath flowing. The aim of this position is to get the nose down near to the shin, but obviously it takes time. You want to take it nice and slowly. It doesn't matter if you're still up here practicing, because you'll be feeling a complete stretch through both legs, and you want to stay observant and make any adjustments and alterations to your alignment as you descend. And it's only by progressing nice and slowly that you will be able to see all that is necessary to achieve the fullness of the position. And then as you come up, you breathe in, you support the spine with a strong stomach, and then you rotate and turn those toes to 12 o'clock. Now at this point we can release the hands and maybe just give a little bit of a twist to those wrists, release any tension that you've drawn into them through that position. And we're going to go into a Padottasana. I can't even say it, I apologise. But it's a forward flexion of the spine with the legs widened. It's a restorative posture. So let's take the hands out to shoulder level. We'll breathe in, we'll pull up, pubis to navel, navel to breastbone, breastbone to brow. It's that zipping up feeling together with raising, lifting the skin on the sides of the body. We want to get our hips up and away from our femur bones so that we can hinge them forward. Again, keep the head and neck as a nice, complete line coming from the spinal cord. You'll get to halfway where you feel almost like a tabletop. You want your hands in line with your shoulders. You're looking directly at the floor beneath you. The skin on your face is nice and soft, and the breath is flowing. Another breath in, create space, and then exhale, hinge over further. Bring your hands to rest on your legs. Now this could be at your thighs, your shins, or your ankles. And if you feel that you do have further stretch, you might like to just take those feet a little wider apart. Again, letting go of the ego. Do not be fooled by the ego trying to take you further than you are ready. It's all about stretching, creating space, surrendering. And remember, there is no race. If you can and you want to, you can always rest the forehead as well. onto the mat. This is a nice restorative position for the heart between postures. So take your time when you breathe out to just let go of any tension you may have in your upper body. Relax it. And then we'll bring our hands to the outer edge of our ankles. We'll get our chin onto our chest and we'll trace the fingers up the outer edge of the legs as we restack the bones in the spine. Once our shoulders are over our hips, we can bring our chin to become parallel with the mat. And now let's go in the opposite direction for our sideways stretch of the legs. Let's breathe in, raise the hands to shoulder level, stretch along the arms to the fingertips. At this point, you can either just bring those arms behind you, bend the elbows and connect the hands at the opposite elbows, or you can roll the shoulder girdle forwards so that the palms of the hands face the ceiling. You can drop the arms behind you until the fingertips touch, and as the fingertips touch, you then invert the hands and bring the fingers and the palms of the hands, the heels of the hands together. You can open out across the front of the chest by taking the shoulders back, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, and breathe. You're then going to pick the toes up and turn them to the right, turning your right toes out 90 degrees and your left toes in 45 degrees. You then bring your left hip and shoulder forward, take your right hip and shoulder back until you find that central alignment. You can widen the stance of the feet a little if this helps to bring your hips to become both pointing forwards towards the wall in front of you. So you want this nice forward posture with the hips. And remember that using one side of the body to help adjustment is fine, but look at using both sides. So as much as you might be bringing the left side forward, just draw the right side back a little as well. All parts assist in all movement. We're going to breathe in, we're going to create space, picking up our hips and our trunk and moving them away from our legs so that we can then hinge the hips forward. Keeping a nice straight spine, keeping those shoulders level. If you're going down slowly, you'll be able to observe this in greater detail. Unclench the teeth. Breathe in to create your space. Breathe out to surrender. Avoid going too far too soon. If the legs begin to shake, it's your nervous system telling you you are doing too much. So you should just back out of the posture a little to a point where it feels comfortable. And just breathe. Remember, your breath is your guide. Your breath will indicate to you when you're able to progress further in the posture. Let's pull the stomach in as we begin to restack the bones of the spine. Have your chin near your chest until once your shoulders are over your hips, you can bring the chin parallel with the floor. Let's turn the toes to 12 o'clock. Let's release the hands. Give them a little bit of a shake. And once again, let's go into our restorative position for our heart. So we've still got our feet 3.5 to 4 feet apart. Let's this time place our hands on our hips. Breathe in and just gently give a bit of a rising up of the hips. Use your thumbs to gently hinge over, pressing your innominate bone so it moves forward. Pull your tummy in, get to a nice halfway where you feel like a tabletop. Draw your elbows out and upwards. The head and neck are a natural extension of the spine, so avoid holding the chin up or dropping the head down too far. You want it to be and natural extension. Feel the lift creating up through the backs of the legs. Make sure it's nice and even, that it's lifting through your Achilles tendon, your calf muscles, just as much as your hamstrings. Sometimes the body will always look for the easiest way out of practice, so it might just try stretching the hamstrings because the calf muscle and the Achilles tendon is that much tougher to stretch. But just ensure that all parts of your body are assisting in your movements and that you're not leaving it to one part mostly. Once you get to a point where the trunk of the body has come to centralise, then just release those hands down. You could catch the elbows in the opposite hands. Breathe in, breathe out. And then let's bring those fingers to the outer edge of the ankles. Trace the fingers up the outside edge of the legs. Chin on the chest. Restacking the bones of the spine. Shoulders back, chest open, chin parallel with the mat. Nice deep breath in through the nostrils. And then jump step or walk the feet together. Return into Tadasana. Preparing for Uttanasana. Forward flexion of the spine. A standing forward bend. Now this position is going to allow the trunk of your body to passively elongate, whereby that means as you're bending forward, just through your breath, your flesh is going to stretch. Because your head, the heaviest part of your body, is going to be hanging inverted. Let's try it. So we're going to place our hands on our hips once again. We've lifted up through our legs. They're already raised. They're already helping with the position. You want to pull up internally, create space in this lower pelvic girdle. So pull the pelvic floors up, pull up, lift the skin, especially some of this flesh that will remain lax, a bit lazy around the midriff. Get it lifting up. Exhale, hinge forward. Taking it step by step so that you can feel the advancement of the stretch occurring in the legs, in the lower legs, in the upper legs, in the front, back and the sides. Allow it to happen completely, not just in one place. You hinge yourself forward, you get to a point that is comfortable for you and release the hands down. Now your hands may be resting on your upper thighs, on your shins. Avoid resting on the knees. You don't want any pressure on the knees. So your hands will be on your thighs, on your shins, down by the ankles or on the floor, dependent upon your stretch. Be aware whilst you're in the position if your buttocks are pushing to the wall behind you. Almost always the body is going to seek an easy way out. It often doesn't like being challenged too much. But we don't want our buttocks to be pushing to the wall behind us too much. We want to draw the buttocks so that they rest centrally over the heels of the feet. Now this may cause a disturbance of the balance of weight in your feet, but that's okay. You'll be able to adjust and adapt to that. So just be aware, if you feel like you're pushing your buttocks to the wall behind you, take a breath in, draw the buttocks forward and get yourself nice and aligned, and you'll find by bringing the buttocks centrally over the feet that you actually have a more forward stretch. Once again, we'll take the elbows in the opposite hands and we'll just rest here, taking deep breaths in and out, observing how we feel, observing as to whether we've clenched our teeth or if we're
over concentrating and blocking our flow of breath. And then we'll place the hands on the front of the legs. We'll scoop the tummy in. We'll begin to restack the bones of the spine. We've got our chin on our chest. Tilt the pelvis. Bring the spine to its straight elevation. Shoulders above the hips. Chin parallel with the floor. And breathe in and breathe out. Returning to the mountain posture, Tadasana. Now we're going to practice Garudasana, the eagle. Lots of positions in yoga are imitating animals. If you think about the animal you're imitating, it can help with the position and it can help you manifest the qualities of that animal. The eagle has paramount focus and concentration. So that's what you want to look at, drawing in to your mind and body while practicing. We're going to practice the two parts separately, one part being the position of our arms, the other part being the position of our legs. We're going to practice them separately first of all, and then we'll join the two together. Again, keep in mind that this position, the fullness of it, is something to progress towards. It's an aim, it's a goal. It won't necessarily be given to you immediately upon first practice. So avoid judging yourself too heavily or being too harsh on yourself and thinking, why can't I do this? You will be able to do it with your patient practice and perseverance. Let's practice the legs first. We are going to take the weight onto our left foot. We're going to make a nice grounded foot. We're going to lift up and have some strength in the leg. We've engaged the muscles. We're then going to give that left knee a bit of a bend. Now we want to avoid allowing our trunk of body to drop too far forward. We actually need to look at keeping those shoulders over the hips. That way you'll keep your centralised balance. And remember that central meridian running through, direct through the centre of you. Bear that in mind. Keep it upright. It's almost like it's a straight pole on that vertical line. Bend your left knee. You're going to pick your right leg up. You're going to cross the right thigh as high over the left thigh as you can and wrap the right shin round the left calf muscle. The right toes just looping round to connect. Again, if it doesn't happen immediately, do not judge yourself. Avoid harsh judgment. Just keep repracticing. You'll have to unwind and try again, over and over. So now with the legs entwined, you are checking that your shoulders are above your hips, that you've got a bit of a tilt in that pelvis, that the belly button is pulling back, supporting the spine, that your teeth are unclenched, you're breathing, and then you release. And you come back to place your weight into both feet. You're aware of your total body weight now dispersed in both feet. And then you're going to transfer to the other side. So you're taking your weight into your right foot. Nice strong right leg. Bit of a bend of the right knee. Pick the left leg up as high as you can with that left inner thigh. Wrap it round the right thigh. And then wrap the left shin and left toes around the right calf muscle. You're just placing your hands onto the left upper thigh. You've got your shoulders above your hips. The trunk of your body is like a column, a pillar. Breathe and then release. So remember, you can practice that simple technique over and over on each side until you get nice and comfortable and stabilised. If you go straight into it and you're wobbling all over the place, you need to take a step back to the lower part of the position. Maybe have a chair beside you that you can hold on to whilst you are perfecting the entwinement of the legs. Let's practice the arms now. Take the arms out in line with the shoulders to a breath in. To a breath out, stretch and create space. You can feel this beautiful, organic, spacious stretch happening all the way from finger span to finger span. As you exhale, you're going to drop both arms down, crossing them, bringing the left arm underneath the right, and then bending at the elbows and entwining the right forearm around the left forearm, bringing the right fingertips to capture the left heel of hand. And in time, those fingers will move up so that it's palm to palm. In the early stages, you may feel great pull across the shoulders. You're not used to taking up on this position. The body has to stretch to find the fullness of the position. So again, no judgment. Just keep practicing. You just unentwine, breathe in, exhale, re-entwine. Once in the position, think about raising those elbows up and then release the hands down. Other side, breathe in, raise the hands to shoulder level. Exhale, allow them to drop forward, crossing over this time with left arm underneath right. The left forearm will entwine around the right forearm and the fingers will touch toward the heel. The left fingers will touch toward the heel of the right hand. Unclench your teeth, relax the skin on your face and breathe. See if you can raise the elbows up a little higher, maybe to shoulder level. Of course, giving yourself time for the progressive stretch to take place. And release. Remember, the practice can take days, weeks, months, and years. So let's bring the two together now. Take the weight onto your left foot. Bend the left knee. Pick the heel of the right foot up, then the right toes, and as far up that thigh, that left thigh as you can, wrap your right thigh. Entwine your right shin and calf muscle around your left. Your hips are travelling down toward the floor. Your trunk of body is lifting up toward the ceiling. Your shoulders are over your hips. Breathe in, slowly bring the hands to shoulder level. Let the arms drop in front of you and bring the left arm underneath the right and wrap them round. You push your hips down, you lift your elbows up, you're drawing the trunk of your body away from your hips. You are focused like the eagle. And then gently disentwine the hands, uncross the legs and return to Tadasana. Your weight in both feet. Transfer that weight into the right foot. Peel the heel of the left foot away from the mat. Bend the right knee. Sink the hips down towards the floor, but you've got a lovely strong foundation. You're keeping strength in that right foot. Pick your left leg up and as high over your right thigh as you can, wrap your left leg and then bring the shin to entwine around the lower right leg. Your left toes capturing around the lowest part of the right leg. Breathe in, raise the hands out beside you. You've got your shoulders over your hips. You've got your stomach supporting your spine. You've got your teeth unclenched. Lower those arms. Let the right arm cross underneath the left
Entwine around the forearms. Sit your buttocks down. Lift your elbows up. Breathe. And then gently disentwine your limbs, your legs and your arms, and return to Tadasana, mountain posture. Have a graceful upward elevation, chin parallel with the floor. Close the eyes and tune in. Now you may feel that the heart rate is a little faster than regular. So you're going to take 3 or 4 rounds of long, deep breaths. You've unclenched your teeth. You've relaxed the tongue in the mouth. You've softened the skin on your face. You've released the shoulders to drop downward, to release all tension from the shoulders, and that's just dropping out through the arms and the fingertips. You're aware of your chest moving forward, your ribcage opening and your lungs expanding as you take a long breath in. And you're aware of your ribcage closing and your chest returning to its original position, and the lungs are deflating as they're pushing out air. You take your time over this, a nice full, long and conscious exhalation. And with this observant mode of breathing, you'll notice that your heartbeat returns to normal. You feel nice and calm and relaxed. You feel lifted, elevated, spacious. Most of all, you feel focused and self-empowered. Breathe in, bring the hands to the heart, the place of all truth, and a nice little motto for the rest of your day. I feel self-empowered. So enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the space and time and the knowledge that yoga is great.